I am happy to be here today to honor and celebrate our team members for their commitment and service to our city. Working with local government is about serving our community, and I think many of us are drawn to this work because of the care that we have for the people we serve, and we want to be a part of making our city the best it can be. I see this value in action day in and day out through the work of our city teams across all our departments. Today, we're thanking those who are celebrating service anniversaries. So to all of you making 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years or more of service here at the city, I want to thank you for your dedication and commitment to being part of our city team. I'd like to thank the following in our Public Works team who are celebrating 30 years of service this year. Mike Anderson, a Utilities Maintenance Tech 2, Bill Fisher, Construction Inspector, Tom Gallagher, also a Construction Inspector, Heather Magnuson, Administrative Coordinator, Terry Westvang, a Utility Service Worker, and Mike Papa, an Engineering Technician. Thank you. I'd also like to thank the following in Everett Fire who are celebrating 30 years of service this year. Captain Dave Rich and Captain Kyle Griffith. Thank you. I'd like to thank the following in our Everett Police team who are celebrating 30 years of service this year. Captain Rod Sniffen, Detective Karen Kaulichik, Sergeant Jay Baines, and Inspector Joseph Nussendorfer. Thank you. I'd like to thank the following in our motor vehicle team who are celebrating 30 years of service this year. Chuck Simpson, buyer, and Wayne Mayland, Supervisor 2. Thank you. I'd like to thank the following members who are celebrating 35 years of service this year. Lieutenant James Duffy, Everett Police, Paul McKee, Real Property Manager in our Facilities team, John Nelson, Building Caretaker in our Facilities team, and Deb Williams, Executive Assistant to City Council. Thank you. I'd like to thank the following team members who are celebrating 40 years of service this year. Jeannie Jacobs, Support Services Manager for Everett Police, Jeffrey Mitchell, Equipment Operator for Public Works, and from Transit, Gary Westvang, Bus Operator. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce our Interim Planning Director, David Stahlheim, who's going to thank his team members for their years of service. But before I do, I want to thank David because he has been with us for 5 years and we really appreciate everything he's done. Okay, take it away, David.
Hello, David Stahlheim here, Interim Planning Director, and we're celebrating 5 years of service for 2 of our staff members, Grace Pollard and Karen Stewart. Grace has been in the Land Use Office, and she's been promoted to Associate Planner during that time frame because of her great work and her contributions to Everett planning during that time frame. Grace is what we call a rabbit chaser. She likes to chase rabbits down holes because she explores different issues and has lots of questions and sees things that a lot of people don't see at times. And that's been very helpful to myself and everyone else because those are questions that need to be asked, and it's just a great thing that a characteristic that she has, and very much appreciate all of Grace's work. Karen Stewart also joined the planning office 5 years ago, and Karen in the long range office. She was hired as the environmental planner, and one of her primary roles that was first assigned to her was to update the shoreline master program for the city, and she did a great job with that, as she does with everything. Karen is also someone that steps up to take on different roles within the department as needed. Karen volunteered to take on the historic preservation program, and so her willingness to take that on and address those issues has been greatly appreciated by myself and everyone else within the city of Everett. So Grace and Karen, thank you for your 5 years of service. You've done a fantastic job, and I know that the citizens of Everett and the staff in the city of Everett are very appreciative of what you have done and look forward to the contributions that you'll be doing in the future. So thank you and congratulations.
Hi, I'm Julie Willie. I'm the Community Development Director, and I'm so happy to be here today to recognize 2 of the staff of our division. Becky McCrary is the Housing and Community Development Program Manager and has been with the city for 5 years. And I am so grateful for Becky for her hard work and for her dedication each and every day You are awesome. You work hard and you make my job so much easier because you're always making sure to check in when you need to check in, and you're always making sure that your team is successful and you're all working and doing the best you can for the city of Everett. So thank you, Becky, and congratulations on 5 years. I also get to recognize Jason Malloy, and Jason Malloy has been here for 15 years. And Jason brings a smile and a clever attitude and some humor to the job, but he's also very serious. And I'm just very grateful for his knowledge about our CHIP program as an inspector in that division, and how each and every day he cares deeply for individuals that are vulnerable and who need some assistance to maintain their housing. I appreciate his willingness to allow new team members to join us and to continue to do great work for the city of Everett. So thank you to Jason and to Becky, and congratulations, and cheers to 5 and 15 more years to both of you.
Hi, this is Dan Ernest. I'm the Economic Development Director, but also the Director of Real Property. And that's a change that happened this year. And it was really one of the best changes of 2020. Of all the bad changes, this was a good one because it allowed me to start working with a one-of-a-kind employee of the city of Everett, Paul McKee, native of Everett, Seagull, Everett High School grad, and still lives here in Everett. But he has worked for the city of Everett for 35 years. He's had many roles: permit services, planning, public works. Currently, he has the distinction of being our real property manager. And it's an interesting job because he's probably stepped into every building and onto every property that the city of Everett owns. And it's a lot of them. He knows where all the skeletons are buried in the buildings too, and he's been a really enjoyable person to get to know. Paul's become a friend. We think together and try to solve problems together, and we both have a very similar kind of real estate mindset that I certainly appreciate. But the thing that really put Paul over the top in my head was when I found out that he was like number 1,004 on the Tesla Cybertruck wait list. And I just think that's super cool. So Paul McKee, thanks so much for the years of service. Thanks so much for your integrity and your loyalty to the city of Everett.
And before we start with council comments, I just want to take a minute to remind everybody that annually we do acknowledge all of our city employees for time, years of service during this time. While we're not able to do that, the city council wants to really acknowledge and recognize Deb Williams, our administrative assistant, who works tirelessly for us, and she celebrates her 35th year with the city of Everett, and that's amazing. So can't have a reception, Deb, but we want to recognize you again at this time of the year. So thank you for that.
Hi, I'm Susie Haugen. I'm the finance director. And for those of you who may not be familiar with finance, we include purchasing, the clerk's office, accounting, and budget and finance management. And I'm here today to congratulate a few of our employees who have met milestones in their service to the city. And I just wanted to thank them very much for all of their years of service. They do a great job in making sure that the business of the city gets done accurately and on a timely basis. And their hard work is very much appreciated. And now I'd like to hand it off to Andy.
Hello, my name is Andy Lee. I'm the accounting manager at the City of Everett. I would like to congratulate 3 of my colleagues who have achieved service milestone with the city. First, I would like to recognize Catherine McDuffie, who for the last 5 years worked constantly to get the vendors paid in a timely manner. 3 times a week, I would pick up the mail from the foyer and leave a stack of them on her desk. It is amazing how quickly she processed these mail. I sincerely appreciate her hard work and efforts year after year. Next, I would like to recognize Joe Pavesi, who's been with the city for 15 years. Joe works with Catherine to process AP checks and payroll checks. Without them, no one gets paid. Recently, Joe was asked to process rental assistance checks for the local businesses. By quickly processing these checks, he helped to prevent local businesses from possible eviction during the pandemic. Thank you and keep up the good work. Finally, I would like to recognize Jim Souter, who's been with the city for 20 years. Jim is careful and shows great attention to detail. He also keeps copious documentations. He's been assisting the planning department with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development reporting, accounting for the Community Housing Improvement Program, and reviewing construction projects for the state compliances. It's been a pleasure working with Catherine, Joe, and Jim. I extend my heartiest congratulations to you all on setting the service milestone. Have a happy work anniversary. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sharon Fuller, City Clerk, and today I'd like to congratulate and thank Marista Jorve, our Deputy City Clerk, for her dedicated 10 years of service to city staff and to the public. Marista, on behalf of the entire clerk's office, thank you for being such a valuable member of our team. You've been instrumental in so many ways, especially in your tireless and professional work in the area of public records and open data. Thank you for the motivation and encouragement you've given to us all throughout the years, and may you continue to inspire us. Again, congratulations on achieving this anniversary with the city.
Hi, I'm Dave DeMarco, and I'm the fire chief here in Everett. And in the weird year of 2020 and pandemic, we're going to do Years of Service Awards differently. And I'm just going to work through the names of the folks that have reached the milestones in their career. The other title for this exercise is Make the Fire Chief Feel Old, because I cannot believe how long some of you have been here. So the employees that have reached the 5-year milestone, I'll just read you by name: Taylor Cannon, Brian Coffey, Mark Farrar, Sarah Lavelle, Kyle Lant, Jacob Lundy, DJ Nyans, Joel Sellinger, Jonathan Vose, and Mike Whistler. Congratulations. 5 years certainly goes by in a snap, so congratulations. So we do have a couple of 15-year employees. Andy Denzel and Elliot Ward, congratulations for working for the city for 15 years. We do have a few more at the 20-year mark. 20 years, again, goes by in a flash. Congratulations to Brian Ash, Tony Fitzpatrick, Mike Morton, Jake Olin, and Todd Stark. 20 years is a huge milestone. Thank you for your service. Congratulations. In the 25 and 30-year range, you start to get into the people that are friends of mine, that were hired with me, that I know personally. And so at the 25-year mark, a very good friend, Sean Edwards, congratulations. Dan Galovic and I rode the medic unit together for quite a long time. Congratulations, Dan. Rob Robertson and I have worked together closely in the stations over the years. Congratulations, Rob. And then Randy Sieber, who is a remarkably good captain. So congratulations to all of our 25-year employees. And then we do have 2 that have reached the 30-year milestone, and also good friends. And Kyle Griffith, captain, congratulations for reaching 30 years. That's a remarkable achievement. And then Dave Rich, who is also a good friend and personally the best captain that I ever worked for. Congratulations, Dave, on reaching the 30-year mark. For everyone on this list, these milestones are remarkable. Thank you for your service, especially during these difficult times that we're facing right now. And look forward to many more years with some of you, while some of you hopefully will reach the end soon. So thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Candy Bartlett, the Human Resources Director. I'm happy to be here today to acknowledge Megan Monroe, our Environmental Health and Safety Manager, and 20 years of service. Megan has done outstanding job this year, keeping our city extremely safe during COVID. Way to go, Megan, and thanks for all you do for our city and our HR team.
And now I'd like to introduce Stephen Hellier, who's going to thank and recognize the team members in IT for their years of service. But first, I want to thank Stephen because he is receiving his 5-year service award today. Thank you so much for all you do for our city, Stephen. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Stephen Hellier, Director of the Information Technology Department. Today, I'm excited to honor Kelly Murphy-Stevens and Christopher Fadden on their 5-year anniversaries with the City of Everett. Kelly joined us as a PC technician in April of 2015. He is now our operations team lead. As our operations team lead, Kelly provides daily direction to team members on the front lines providing customer service on the phone and in the field. The experience Kelly brought us from his time in the private sector supporting Fortune 500 organizations such as Starbucks and Bank of America have been invaluable to the City of Everett. Chris joined us as an application specialist in October of 2015, and he was promoted to an application analyst in 2017. Chris focuses most of his time transforming data between our business systems and supporting some of our critical applications in the library, public works, and human resources. Chris was instrumental in the successful launch of our open data portal, data.everwa.gov. Congratulations, Chris and Kelly, for 5 years with the City of Everett. And thank you for showing up each day and delivering services to our customers you would buy if you're up on the other end of the transaction.
For those of you who might not know me, I'm David Hall, the City Attorney, and I'm here to recognize Flora Diaz in our office for her 5 years of service. Flora had been a legal intern during law school in our prosecutor's office, so we already knew her and knew what great work she did. So when a position opened up in the city attorney's office, the first person I contacted was Flora. And when she expressed interest in joining the office, I was so excited that I actually made her a job offer without first checking with my boss, Jim Iles, at the time. And fortunately, when I told Jim that we had hired Flora, he was as excited as I was because he also knew her good work and what a great reputation she had during her internship with our prosecutor's office. Flora has been a real trooper with the budget cuts. She has had to fill in both in the civil and the criminal division, and she does a great job in both. And Flora, I thank you very much for being so flexible. The only problem with that arrangement is that you do such good work that we end up fighting over your time, and I think you end up doing more than a full-time job because you do a lot of work down there and a lot of work up here. So again, I just really appreciate the work you do for us. Flora is really known as being a great lawyer. She's got all the qualities you want in a lawyer. She's incredibly thorough. She's a very good communicator, takes a lot of initiative, really makes my job a lot easier. And I just really appreciate having her in the office. She's a great asset for the city. So the bottom line is we're really lucky to have Flora. She's a great asset for the city and for this office. And I hope to be doing this again for her 10-year service recognition. Thank you, Flora.
I'm Abby Cooley, Director of the Everett Public Library. I'd like to recognize Carol Ellison for her 15 years of service. Carol started out as a volunteer for the library and then worked in several positions, from page to technician. Carol is now the circulation supervisor for both the main library and Evergreen branch. Carol's dedication to the community and library world doesn't stop with us. She's a volunteer at the Shack Art Center and is actively involved in the Washington Library Association. In 2016, she was awarded the Washington Library Association Outstanding Employee of the Year. On behalf of the library staff and Board of Trustees, Carol, thank you for all that you've done for the library and the greater community.
Hi, I'm Judge Amy Kastner at Everett Municipal Court, and I'm here to present a 5-year service award to Rick Nauman, who is one of our security guards here at the court. Rick is an essential part of our team. He is responsible for keeping the participants in our court, the public, and the court's employees safe every day. And Rick, I would just like to thank you for being a part of our team for the last 5 years. And we hope that you will be staying with us for many more.
Hi, I'm John Dunn with the Motor Vehicles Division, and we're here to recognize some milestones of some of our outstanding employees. First would be Chris Wentz. He's a vehicle mechanic. He works night shift. He's been with us for 5 years. We also have Tony Catamarti, who is the fleet program manager. He's also been here for 5 years. Then we have our long-term employees. Chuck Simpson, he's a buyer. He's celebrating 30 years. And also Wayne Mayland, who's the day shift supervisor. He has also been here for 30 years. I'd like to say congratulations and thank you very much for your hard work and dedication.
Hi, everybody. This is Kimberly Shelton from the Parks Department, sending out a word of appreciation and congratulations to all of our team members who have received service awards. I want to start by saying congratulations to the Everett Animal Shelter staff who've reached the 5-year mark. So thank you and congratulations to Brittany Matala, who is one of our animal care and customer service assistants. Also, our wonderful animal services manager, Glennis Fredrickson, is celebrating 5 years. Thank you for your work and leadership at the animal shelter. And finally, Neil DeRuiter, thank you for your hard work and dedication as one of our animal control officers. And now for the park staff, reaching 5 years of beautifying our parks. Thank you to Todd Benzel. Todd is one of our groundskeeper and park maintenance technicians. Thank you to Ewan Robertson, one of our recreation supervisors. We appreciate your 15 years of service in creating and supervising amazing recreation programs for Everett. Another 15-year employee is John Adrian, a groundskeeper, park maintenance technician. You've helped keep our parks in tip-top shape for visitors and residents. And a whopping 20 years of service for Susan Fuller in our recreation office. She's worked so hard over the last 20 years, but especially in this past year during COVID, she's really held the whole recreation team together, and we sure appreciate you. On behalf of myself and Bob Leonard, our Parks and Facility Director, we just want to thank you for your great service. We really appreciate it, and I hope you all enjoy the holiday season.
I'm Jeff Harris, the Assistant Facilities Director for the city. I am here to acknowledge members of our custodial and maintenance divisions for their years served with the city. First, we have Van Ramsey, who's a building caretaker and has been working for the city for 15 years. Second is Brian Moss, who is one of our maintenance mechanics in the facilities division. He's been working here for 15 years also. And third, we have John Nelson, who's also another one of our building caretakers, and he's been here a whopping 35 years. All I want to do is thank you all for your service and dedication to the city. And let you know that your hard work is very much appreciated. Thank you.
I'm Tom Hinkson, Transportation Services Director for the City of Everett. Today we want to honor 3 people at Everett Station for their many years of service. First, Ron Block, Maintenance and Building Caretaker, 10 years of service. Thank you, Ron. Rashawn Clark, Security Transportation Officer, 15 years of service. Thank you, Rashawn. We really appreciate the work that you do. And Joan Olson, also 15 years of service. Joan is our Maintenance and Facilities Supervisor. She oversees the day-to-day operations of Everett Station, and she has been with the station as long as the station has been in place. Thank you, Joan.
Hi, I'm Chris Lark, and I'm Planning and Project Manager with Parks and Facilities. And I would like to thank Ruben Sanchez for his 15 years of dedicated service as a project manager. He is a valued member of the projects team for Parks and Facilities. Ruben came to the city after retiring from the Navy as a senior chief, and after a short stint with Transit, we were able to lure him over to facilities. Ruben has completed many a project over the years with reliability and integrity. And I want to say thanks again, Ruben, for your service.
Hi, I'm Dan Templeman, Chief of the Everett Police Department, and it's my honor today to be able to recognize our Everett Police Department employees who have reached their years of service milestones with the city. This has been an unprecedented year for law enforcement, and our department has faced many challenges. However, we have met those challenges head on with resilience and perseverance and have never stopped working with our residents to keep our community and our neighborhoods safe and secure. I'm very thankful for our dedicated workforce and for the outstanding work that you do each and every day. This year, the Everett Police Department has 50 employees who have reached their years of service milestones. These 50 employees represent a total of 735 years of collective service to our community. I'm especially grateful for our 12 employees who have achieved 25 or more years of service. This is an amazing accomplishment. Our recipients this year represent all facets of our department, both commissioned and non-commissioned, some being patrol officers or supervisors overseeing a squad of officers, to detectives assigned to our investigative units, as well as our civilian staff assigned to important administrative support functions within our department. His own years of service milestone as well, reaching 30 years of service with the city. Congratulations, Rod.
Hello, my name's Rod Sniffen. I'm the South Precinct Captain, and I want to talk about service awards for 2020. Out here at the South Precinct, we have a large contingent of patrol officers. In addition, the school resource officers, the anti-crime team, and the gang response unit also work out of the South Precinct. I'm going to start reading through the names. We'll start with the 5-year awards first. So I'd like to congratulate for 5 years of service, Doug Sparacio from the K-9 unit, David Sinex in our gang unit, Derek Shelton, Alex Olson, Garrett Johnson, Thad Halbert, Josh Freeman, and Ben White, all part of the patrol section. Thanks for your first 5 years of service here with the city. I'm sure there'll be many more to come. The next group I want to congratulate are the 10-year awardees. And we'll start with Brett Stewart from our school resource officer section, Oleg Kravchuk, part of our anti-crime team, Jonathan Carr from patrol, Doug Jackson and Mike Dutson, both 10-year awardees from the school resource officer unit as well, and John Anderson, who works in our gang unit. The next two folks, congratulate them on 20 years of service with the city of Everett. The first one being Joe Woods. He's a sergeant of the gang unit. Joe's been here a lot. He contributes a lot to our department, spending a lot of time on specialty teams such as SWAT. He also did a short stint in the detective unit as sergeant of the property crimes. Always a good resource, and I enjoy having him out here at the South Precinct. Another 20-year recipient this year is Clyde Turner, police officer on B Platoon. Clyde is always a character and fun to be around. An interesting story is when Clyde was a reserve officer just before he retired from the Navy, he and I got a little bit of a friendship, and he rode around with me a number of times as a reserve, and I was working the road. So congratulations on our 20-year recipients. The next group for achieving 25 years of service with the city. I'll start with Lieutenant Karen White. She's the South Precinct Knights Lieutenant out here. Karen served in the patrol division a lot of her career, but she's also done a number of years as a diver. And she also worked in the vice and gambling unit as a detective for a number of years as well. The next 25-year recipient I'll talk about is School Resource Officer Aaron DeFolo. Again, another officer who spent a lot of time in different units throughout the department. He's done 2 different stints as a school resource officer, currently assigned to Evergreen Middle School when they come back to school. And he spent a number of years as a detective in the Special Assault Unit as well, getting a lot of accolades as a specialty investigator and working on some task force work with missing exploited children and some of those types of tasks. And The last 25-year recipient from the South Precinct is Sergeant Craig Davis, currently assigned to A Platoon. Craig's a valuable resource as he spent a number of years as a traffic investigator and an instructor. He instructs a lot of the topics for CJTC dealing with traffic collisions, radar, LiDAR, total station, that kind of thing. So we appreciate his involvement in that arena and for his 25 years of service to the city. And the last person from the South Precinct we're going to recognize for 35 years of service is a Lieutenant James Duffy. I've known Jim my entire career, one of my mentors as a young police officer here in Everett when I first joined the force. And I've always appreciated and welcomed his mentorship and his friendship throughout the years. Jim has served the department in many different capacities. I known him early on when he did a lot of work with the K-9 units on patrol. From there, he spent a number of years in narcotics and then as the Special Investigations Lieutenant. 35 years is quite an accomplishment, and congratulations to all the awardees. Thank you.
Substantial milestones. Some of those that have started out not that long ago in their career, and some that have been dedicated for a tremendously long time. Without further ado, we will begin to recognize those with 5 years of service to the Everett Police Department. Officer Jeremy Vanderlei, Officer Jared Snyder, Officer Mark Smith, Detective Kevin Shea, and his partner, Detective Mark Gist, Officer Kirby Duncan, and last but not least, Officer Ingie Yargid. Moving on to those with 10 years of service, we have Motor Officer Andrew Shuck and Master Police Officer Josh Doonan. Those with 15 years of dedicated service this year are Master Police Officer Ryan Turpening and Officer Kevin Davis. We have 2 people in the North Precinct that eclipsed the 20-year mark of time in service. That is Master Police Officer Bobby Martinez and Lieutenant Kevin Allen. And leading the pack with 25 years of service at the Everett Police Department is Sergeant Tim McAllister. Congratulations to everybody for your dedication to not only our police department, but law enforcement and the safety of the community. Thank you very much.
I'm Greg Lineberry, Everett Police Support Services Division. Support Services has over 40 civilian staff and commissioned police officers underpinning our patrol and investigative operations. Our staff provide recruiting services, training, code enforcement, parking enforcement, evidence and property management, police records management, and police records public disclosure services. Today, I am honored to recognize 6 of our team members for a combined total of over 115 years of service. In police records, Records Information Specialist Julie Loomis completing 5 years of service. In police records public disclosure, Records Information Specialist Brent Flagg also completing 5 years of service. In our training unit, Sergeant Tim Collins completing 15 years of service. Again, in our police records unit, Police Records Supervisor Bernie Kearney completing 25 years of service. Bernie served for many years as an AFSCME shop steward, and he frequently organizes off-duty outings for the records team. Our police recruiter, Police Officer Meg DeBucci, also completing 25 years of service. Meg is our Honor Guard commander, and moving forward from her own experiences with tragic loss, she is a member of Behind the Badge's Line of Duty Death Response Team and has supported numerous agencies and family members throughout the state of Washington over her many years of service. Thank you, Meg. Finally, topping our list of years of service, Jeannie Jacobs, Support Services Manager. Jeannie is a recognized expert in the field of public records disclosure. She serves not only our community, but numerous agencies and staff throughout the state as a professional trainer and as an executive board member and often president of the Law Enforcement Information and Records Association. Jeannie, for your more than 40 years of service to our agency and our community, Thank you.
I'm Jared Irving. I'm the captain of investigations, and I have the privilege of providing the investigators with their years of service awards. The first one I want to start out with is for the 5 years of service, and that's with Todd Israel. Todd Israel came to us from the Washington State Patrol, and now he's currently up in property crimes and is doing a fantastic job. I have, the next one is Chris Olson. He has 15 years of service with the Everett Police Department. He is also in property crimes. He is one of our arson investigators. He does pawns and any other related information regarding property crimes. Congratulations, Chris. For the next four, they're 20 and 30-year awards. The first one I want to talk about is Jared Seth. He's a detective in the Drug Task Force. I worked with Jared very briefly on patrol, and then he decided that he wanted to go to the Drug Task Force, and I've never seen him since, other than I just see his name on vacation slips that come through or overtime. Jared has been with the Drug Task Force for the past 10 plus years. Maya Atkins, she has 20 years of service and currently works in major crimes. I remember working night shift with Maya on patrol. Very astute officer, very knowledgeable, and it's no shocking surprise that she made it up into major crimes with her investigative abilities. She's also a legacy employee with the sheer fact that her father, Herm Atkins, retired a couple years ago. Maya continues to carry that role and has done a fantastic job. Our next two candidates are for 30 years of service awards. The first one is Detective Karen Kowalczyk. I remember when I started, Karen was a master police officer on patrol. Shortly after that, she moved into investigations and has been there since. Karen is currently assigned as the detective in sexual assault unit, but also she has the additional role of being our department polygraph examiner. Karen does polygraphs for criminal, but also does a tremendous amount doing backgrounds for entry level and lateral applicants. That has kept Karen extremely busy, and she has done a marvelous job with all of the polygraphs she's done for all the applicants that we have since hired. Not only has Karen provided 30 years of service for our police department, but additionally she is a military service veteran, and I want to compliment her for that. The final person is Sergeant Jay Baines, who is at the Drug Task Force. Jay has, as I said, been with our department for 30 years. When I started this police department, Jay was in K-9, and I learned a tremendous amount from Jay in the field of not only K-9 work, but from being a good police officer. Watching how he did investigated crimes, how he ran his dog, it was just marvelous. Jay has been with the Drug Task Force for 15 years and was also a SWAT officer. I just want to compliment everybody who I just named off for their years of service. I thank you for all the contributions you provided, and please be safe.
Hi, I'm Mark St. Clair, Deputy Chief of Operations, and on behalf of Administrative Services, it is my honor to present the next three service award recipients. The combined years of service to the city for these three recipients represents 80 years. Receiving the 20 years of service award is Lisa Romberg. Lisa is an administrative assistant in the Office of Professional Standards. Prior to that, Lisa worked in the records room and the property room. Lisa was honored as Civilian of the Year in 2003. Congratulations on your 20 years of service, Lisa. Receiving the 30 years of service award is Rod Wolfington. Rod is a police officer currently assigned to services. During Rod's 30 years with the Everett Police Department, he has worked as a school resource officer, a training unit officer, and he was a field training officer. Rod received Officer of the Year in 2003 and a Certificate of Merit in 2004. Congratulations on your 30 years of service. Also receiving the 30 years of service award is Joe Nusendorfer. Joe is the inspector in the Office of Professional Standards. Prior to that, Joe has worked in various units in the department, to include uniform patrol, property crimes, person crimes, and the special assault unit. Joe was honored as Supervisor of the Year in 2008. Joe has now retired from the Everett Police Department effective December 1st, 2020. Congratulations on your 30 years of service, Joe, and the best of luck in retirement.
I am proud of all of our award recipients and know that each one of you represents the values of the Everett Police Department and serve our community with honor, integrity, and professionalism. I thank each and every one of you for your dedicated service. Congratulations.
Hi, this is Ryan. I'd like to take some time to honor the many public works staff who are receiving service awards this year. Like many things this year, service awards will be done differently. It's been quite a year, but we won't get into that. The work we do is really foundational to the health and welfare of the city, and I want to extend my appreciation to those of you who have dedicated so many years of service and commitment to our public works mission. Heather Magnuson will be reading each of your names to honor you for your years of service, and I'd like to also take this time to honor Heather, who's reaching 30 years of service, and I greatly appreciate her efforts in assisting and keeping our department running. Thank you.
Hi, this is the City of Everett Public Works Department Service Awards, announcing those that have gotten 5 years of service first, starting with Gary Anderton from the Streets Department, who is a utility laborer. Marty Shoes, also in the Streets Department, equipment operator. Amy Roshak with engineering, senior engineer. Scott Roden with the Waterwork Group, heavy equipment operator. Ashton Palacios with TSG, plant pump maintenance tech. Lindsay Moo with utility billing, accounting assistant. Ian Moo with streets, heavy equipment operator. Eric McKinney with the Waterwork Group, heavy equipment operator. James Knappert with the building department as construction inspector. Michelle Johnson at the wastewater plant, office specialist. Tanya Herming at the building department as a permit technician. Gail Fisk in traffic engineering as associate engineer PE. Sabrina Fandler in the building department as the permit services manager. Eric Emerson, surface water management, senior engineer. Lee Brandt in administration as an administrative coordinator. Jennifer Bailey in engineering as associate engineer PE. Jacob Bach in the Panama building as assistant inventory control tech. Next, we have 10 years of service, starting with Will Pollock in TSG as a utility maintenance technician 2. Grant Moen, administration as the maintenance superintendent. David Massillary in sewer and drainage as heavy equipment operator. Rob Kovacs in streets as a cement finisher. Michael Kangas in construction management as assistant construction manager. Shan Anderson, TSG, as a water quality control operator. Next, we have 15 years of service, starting with Leo Westergreen in finance as the mail processing. John McManus in sewer and drainage, heavy equipment operator. Michael Livion in streets as an equipment operator. Roger Huntley in sewer and drainage, heavy equipment operator. Macer Hopkins in streets as equipment operator. Michael Brick in traffic engineering, associate engineer PE. George Bukers in the water department, heavy equipment operator. Next, we have 20 years of service, starting with David Vandell at the wastewater plant, water quality analyst. Tim Rickman at the wastewater plant, water quality analyst. Pat Mitchell in streets as M&O supervisor. Mike Mendlick in engineering as associate engineer non-PE. Gerardo Mangalins in traffic engineering as a traffic tech. Bruce Latonen at the filtration plant as a utility maintenance technician 3. Joe Drymiller, also at the filtration plant as a park ranger 2. Daryl Danley in the water meter shop, lead utility service worker. Aaron Krotz, Environmental Monitoring and Control as a Water Quality Analyst. Sean Bridge in Finance as Senior Financial Analyst. Next, we have 25 years of service with Jim Miller, who is our City Engineer and Assistant Public Works Director. Shane Kavanaugh in Construction Management as Construction Inspector. Next, with 30 years of service, Terry Westfang in the Water Department as Utility Service Worker. Mike Papa, Surface Water Management, Engineering Tech. Tom Gallagher in Construction as a Construction Inspector. Bill Fisher, also in Construction as a Construction Inspector. Mike Anderson at the Water Filtration Plant, Utility Maintenance Technician 2. And last but not least, with 40 years of service, Jeffrey Mitchell in our Sewer and Drainage Department as Equipment Operator. Thank you to all of you for your years of service.
Hi, I'm Tom Hinkson, Director of Everett Transit. Today we want to honor our employees who have served us for 5 years. First, Jesse Rempel, a paratransit operator, and then the following fixed route operators: Kara McKiernan, Mitchell Lorenz, David Gibbons, Michael Duran, and Roger Bevel. And as I say to you in my note, congratulations. Now let's honor 2 employees who have been with us for 10 years. Bob McFarland, a transit inspector. He's one of our trainers. And Glenn Yokoyama, a paratransit operator, who was also the first paratransit operator to work as an acting inspector. Thank you, gentlemen. Now for 15 years of service. We have George Boswell, a paratransit operator, Bob Hunter, a program manager who takes care of our ORCA program and all things electronic at Everett Transit, Jerry Osnes, a bus operator, Steve Roshka, a bus operator, and Melody Rodriguez, who recently transferred from paratransit operator to fixed route operator. Thank you for your service. And now a milestone, 30 years for Jeff Fong, a bus operator, and Gary Westfang, 40 years of service. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We honor all of these employees for their many years of service, their constant care and attention to our customers, and how they make Everett Transit look great every single day. Thank you very much for your service, and we look forward to many more years together.
Once again, I'd like to thank all of you for being part of our city team and for your continued service to our community. Thank you so much.